I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
We here to handle the business, not let the business handle us. That's what we are elected to do, sir. So please.
It's her fault. It's her problem, her responsibility, and she failed.
In a small Chicago suburb, Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, finds herself at the center of a political storm. Accusations of misusing taxpayer funds, unpaid rent, and potential arrests have made her a polarizing figure. Township meetings are now more about Tiffany's dramatic antics than actual governance, leaving residents questioning the direction of their community as tensions rise.
Today, first, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial.
Elected mayor of Dalton in 2021, Tiffany Henyard has become one of the most divisive figures in local politics. She faces accusations of lavish spending using taxpayer money and employing the police for personal protection. Amid the drama, Henyard is also facing eviction after failing to pay rent for months, despite earning nearly $300,000 annually. Her landlord, Janetta Hall, has filed for eviction after months of non-payment, adding fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, the township is calling for financial accountability, with Henyard's leadership more fitting of a reality TV villain than a public servant. The ongoing dispute with her landlord has escalated after Henyard reportedly changed the house locks to prevent access, and with legal actions being taken, the situation grows increasingly tense. In addition, Henyard is embroiled in a bitter feud with the Dalton trustees, with accusations of falsifying financial records and even issuing arrest threats against her political opponents, though she didn't clarify the crimes.
Thornton Township, the board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances while the township's...
The irony in Tiffany Henyard's situation is glaring. After being caught spending tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on extravagant flights, luxury hotels, and fine dining, she now accuses her opponents of corruption. Under federal investigation for misusing public funds, Henyard has also been caught making eye-watering purchases on Amazon for non-office items, while the town's general fund deficit continues to grow. Meanwhile, her lavish spending habits have even caught the attention of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. Henyard's actions have sparked concerns, with the township now facing dire financial struggles, including unpaid vendor checks totaling millions and essential services being disrupted. Despite this, Henyard continues to position herself as the town's savior, dismissing criticism with claims of jealousy from her opponents and refusing to acknowledge the town's mounting issues.
But it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, you have just some...
Tiffany Henyard's time as mayor of Dalton has been marked by extravagant spending and a shocking disregard for the town's financial stability. A recent investigation into Dalton's village credit card use revealed that taxpayer money was being spent on luxury items and personal indulgences, including expensive furniture and lavish trips. The public funds were used for everything from furniture purchases to taxpayer-funded trips to Las Vegas, an irresponsible and reckless misuse of resources that only deepened the financial crisis in Dalton. One of the most egregious examples of Henyard's behavior occurred when she hosted an $85,000 party featuring rapper Jay Holiday and singer K. Michelle, all while Dalton's finances were spiraling downward. This lavish event, thrown amid the town's growing debt, showcased Henyard's complete disregard for the community she was elected to serve. Instead of focusing on essential services, like addressing the town's water infrastructure issues and ensuring the safety and well-being of Dalton residents, she seemed more interested in personal pleasure and extravagant displays. Further compounding the financial woes, Henyard's face was plastered all over town on a billboard campaign, giving the unsettling impression that Dalton was her personal playground. The use of taxpayer money for self-promotion was a blatant display of narcissism and a clear sign that Henyard prioritized her image and reputation over the needs of the community. As the village's financial situation worsened, with a significant deficit accumulating, it was becoming more evident that her actions were not only irresponsible, but also detrimental to the town's future. This reckless spending has drawn attention from various authorities, including former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who has been tasked with investigating Dalton's finances. The investigation revealed alarming numbers, such as the disappearance of $6 million in unpaid checks to vendors, which had left essential services disrupted and local businesses in dire straits. Meanwhile, Henyard continues to act as though her actions were justified, claiming that her lavish lifestyle somehow benefited the town despite these serious issues. Henyard remains defiant, showing no remorse for her actions. She continues to portray herself as the town's savior, insisting that any criticism is rooted in jealousy. As Dalton's finances crumble, the reality is that Henyard's behavior is only worsening the crisis, leaving the residents to question her priorities and whether she truly has their best interests at heart.
That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out.
The most recent township meeting was nothing short of chaos, as Tiffany Henyard clashed with trustees and even forbade Trustee Coro from participating remotely. Despite valid reasons for Coro's absence, Henyard dismissed her colleagues' concerns, continuing her pattern of petty snobbery and dysfunction. The meeting devolved into a dramatic spectacle, with Henyard's dictatorial behavior causing further unrest among the community.
You are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs.
The chaos at Dalton's recent township meeting highlighted the growing dysfunction under Mayor Tiffany Henyard's leadership. What was intended to be a routine meeting discussing essential business for the community turned into an embarrassing spectacle, showcasing Henyard's dictatorial style and lack of regard for proper governance. One of the most glaring incidents occurred when Trustee Coro, who had valid reasons for being absent, was not allowed to participate remotely. Henyard cited safety concerns for Coro's absence, but this excuse was widely regarded as petty and dismissive. It was clear that her decision to bar Coro from joining the meeting was not about safety, but about exercising control and asserting her authority in the most inappropriate manner. This is just one example of the disarray that has plagued meetings under Henyard's leadership. Rather than focusing on critical issues facing the community, such as water infrastructure problems, unpaid vendor debts, and an overburdened police force, the meetings often devolve into personal drama and power struggles. Instead of fostering productive discussions and solutions for the town, Henyard's leadership has been marked by constant conflict with the trustees and her need for the spotlight. As the meeting continued, another moment of dysfunction occurred when Henyard attempted to push through the approval of meeting minutes without allowing for any discussion or input from other trustees. In an overt violation of parliamentary procedure, she audaciously seconded her own motion, a clear indication of how little respect she has for the democratic processes that should guide the township. By pushing the proceedings along without allowing for debate, she was essentially running the meeting like a one-woman show, completely disregarding the collaborative nature of local governance. The situation reached a boiling point when Trustee Chris Gonzalez, fed up with the chaos and lack of professionalism, walked out of the meeting. Rather than acknowledging the impact of her own actions in causing the meeting's collapse, Henyard quickly fabricated a story, claiming that Gonzalez had failed to manage the people's business and had neglected his duties. This was a convenient narrative to deflect attention from her own role in the dysfunction. Henyard's insistence on portraying herself as the victim in every situation has become a hallmark of her leadership style. She is quick to blame others, especially her political opponents, while failing to take responsibility for her own missteps. Frustration among Dalton residents is growing, as they see their township's leadership crumble under the weight of constant scandals and incompetence. One commenter on a YouTube video about the meeting summed it up perfectly. "Arrest this clown already." Another resident didn't hold back, calling Henyard the worst enemy of the residents by far. These sentiments reflect the growing dissatisfaction with her tenure as mayor. Despite this overwhelming criticism, Henyard has made it clear that she plans to run for re-election, posting the announcement on Facebook as if her past scandals and failures hadn't even occurred. Her political opponents, including Trustee Jason House, are rallying to challenge her in the upcoming election. However, Henyard seems determined to hold on to power at all costs. This tenacity is indicative of someone who views public office as an entitlement rather than a responsibility to serve the community. Despite the mounting pressure and the ongoing FBI investigation into her finances, she continues to insist that her extravagant spending and questionable behavior somehow benefit the community. Her re-election bid, despite recent struggles, signals that Henyard is not ready to back down without a fight. This saga highlights the dangers of unchecked power and the consequences of a leader who prioritizes personal gain over the well-being of the community. The people of Dalton deserve better, and as they prepare for the upcoming election, they have the opportunity to voice their dissatisfaction and demand a change in leadership. Henyard's rise to power may have been swift, but if her downfall comes, it will likely be just as dramatic. The question now is whether the residents of Dalton will have the courage to take back their town and restore accountability in local government.